Hi, everybody.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome back to the Wi-Fi of Everything in our brand new studio. You like
Super
this?
fancy studio.
Fancy.
In a place called My Garage.
Yeah, Roel's Garage. Hopefully audio is good this time. We had a little bit of,
We've been working on it.
Air tunnel effect last time.
We've heard you guys.
We've heard. So,
yeah, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to talk about Ubiquiti.
Oh, Ubiquiti.
And not just any Ubiquiti.
And it's sitting right here in front of us.
Oh, it's brand new.
Brand new in a box. We are doing an unboxing of the AirFiber.
And then I think we're going to kind of go over the tools to deploy it. Yep. I just got done doing one myself. It was really kind of neat and kind of an easy process. And I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot.
Let's talk about your experience. Yeah. So we're going to unbox this guy. You can tell it says heavy.
Yes. Be very careful. Very heavy.
Requires 2 strong people. We'll let the more responsible one use the knife.
I don't know if we made that choice right.
This is either an unboxing video or a bloody one.
Yeah, it's an unboxing video or Robert loses fingers video. We haven't quite decided yet. So Ubiquiti comes very secure. Oh yeah, package label. We're gonna probably have to cut the other side.
Yep. They really packaged this one very well, taped everywhere.
The cover is taped so you do not lose the very specific information.
So while you're unboxing this, while we're cutting it open, why don't you, can you talk at the same time about your deployment?
That's a little scary. Let's see if I don't cover myself up with the camera and hide behind it here.
I'll try to fill it. You had a situation where you couldn't provide fiber to a building, is that correct?
Yeah, so what had happened was we had a couple of temporary trailers that needed the internet, and for us to do that, we'd have to trench across a street, a public street. So, I mean, I think the...
You didn't want to pay for that trenching?
Yeah, I think the officials, I mean, it's only 351 meters, which is about 1,000 feet for us Americans. So yeah, and so I've heard a lot of good stuff about point-to-point links, and again, it's 3 trailers, so you're talking probably full load, 70 people.
Okay.
So, I mean, not a huge deal.
So at the cost, this was a more affordable option.
Oh, definitely. So I think we paid about $1,400 a link. Let me make sure I'm still staying in camera here. And then we bought this is our spare.
Okay.
So let's hope the link doesn't go down because I'm
while we're here.
An hour and a half away. But yeah, so that was good. And so far we've had it up since the beginning of semester and it's been running. It's been running really nice.
Well, let's take off this foam cover off the top there.
Let's go ahead.
It's got some decent packaging in there. Yeah. What else does it come with?
Don't forget your silica gel. Silica gel is very important.
You can reuse this for other purposes.
Yes, I use silica gel all the time. So now you get your nice little box here.
What do you get in this box?
Fabulous quick start guide.
So this is a smaller box than the big box, which has different parts for mounting.
And we won't take this out, but here is basically your mounting kit. It's a pretty decent mounting kit. Really all you do is find your pole or it's pretty much a pole mount. Yeah. So essentially...
You got your pole clamps, your pole mount bracket. Yeah, so cable ties as well to tighten it even further.
Yeah.
That's it, and it has all of that described in the quick start guide that comes with the point-to-point.
And then really the big beast is right here. Is that more silica gel?
More silica gel. I'll put that to the side.
You gotta keep it dry.
Let me help you out here. There you go.
Boom.
We'll clear the table.
That sucker is that. So here you go.
So one person can actually lift this.
Yeah, I don't know that I would mount it myself. Comes with a nice locking case here for... there you go. So yeah, so nice thing here is as you're hooking things up, you have your data, you have your aux port, you have a config port, which you get used to that one real quick. And then you also have, when you're doing configurations, you'll get a nice little number here that you can go through the guide and try to match up with your other side. So it's kind of nice. This is definitely a 2-person install.
Okay. And the Ethernet port, though, that's also your PoE, is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, if you could grab me the box real quick. The one
Here you go.
negative
I think you're looking for
is this. So the one negative I did find is you have to use this. Even if you have a Euro, even if you're pulling a PoE switch, you do need to use their PoE brick.
Yeah, it's going to provide a certain amount of voltage that that is required for this radio.
So just remember, you got to use this. As much as you're like, my switch has got PoE, I'm good.
Yeah, and don't go buy some third-party PoE injector. Use the ones from Ubiquiti.
Definitely.
So it's got a pretty nice-looking mount here on the back.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about some of the specs?
Okay, so this right here is using 24 gigahertz. It's unlicensed, so you don't have to worry about licensing cost. It runs 1.4 gigabits per second aggregate. So that's about I'm getting about 774 megabits transmit and receive right now. So I mean, it hasn't dipped. It's good for 13 kilometers.
Oh, 13 kilometers. For us Americans, I think we should ask Siri.
Yeah, because I have no idea what that is.
Hey Siri, how far is 13 kilometers in miles?
13 kilometers is 8.08 miles.
Oh, awesome. That is pretty far distance.
That's a beast. And so again, we're going 351 meters, which is 1,000 feet. It's so and kind of I've had a lot of questions. People are like, oh, why didn't you go 5 gigahertz?
Yeah, why don't you talk about why you didn't go with the 5 gigahertz antenna?
Because they do make a 5 gigahertz, would have definitely been clean. Our issue is we're planning on doing parking lot Wi-Fi. We're doing a lot of these things and hanging APs off of light poles or light posts. Light poles, it's about the same thing. And the actual mount itself is only about 20, 25 feet off the ground. So I didn't want to possibly inadvertently cause interference. Just, I mean, technically
this is the backhaul between your building and the trailers.
So yeah.
So you wanted to provide that reliable connection for the people within the trailers.
And not have to also when planning for the wireless for the parking lots have to work around the link.
Gotcha.
Technically, it's a very small beam width. I think it's about a 10-degree beam width, to be honest. So, I mean, it was interesting. We set this up. Some of you probably saw pictures when I was playing with it where we set it up on the football field.
Maybe we can put some pictures in the video?
Yes, we can put a picture of me setting it up in the football field. It'll be in a corner somewhere. I don't know which side. So another good safety tip is also read the guide. Because they're like, because I put this in my office and I had them about 10 feet from each other and couldn't get a connection. And I was like, oh, these things are dumb. They're broken. You need 300 feet, guys.
Yeah, you might want to test this outside.
It's like, I'm a Wi-Fi guy, man. I know this. I just point to them each other. They'll be clean.
And you were doing that just to test the link.
I was just test the link, just to
bring
get a connection.
Up, get it configured.
Get some setup going. But
because these can, again, you've heard Siri, these can go up to 8 miles. So this is a backhaul type of point-to-point radio. And again, that's point-to-point, 24 gigahertz.
Yeah, so it's a little warm. I know it's probably a mental thing, but we did when we had them both powered up. It did feel a little warmer in the room.
You didn't lose any hairs?
Didn't lose any hairs. Yeah, so this is the radio. Kind of what I thought we would go over was the fact that maybe we'll go over the tool that I used, Ubiquiti's tool.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up. It's a really nice tool. Uses Google Maps, and it helps you build your link, do your link calculations, as well as we'll actually take a look at my actual page that actually shows kind of the statistics and things. So
we'll go over the configuration that you set up these two point-to-point radios for. We'll talk about the modulation that it's using, what you could expect, what kind of throughput you could expect.
Exactly. Also, as far as it'll give you a chance to see kind of everything. There's a couple of different modes we can look at. Because you can do actually in a full duplex or a half duplex, depending on what you need. So that's also a good option. So yeah.
So how was installation of this radio? Because it's got the mounting brackets here in the back.
My wiring guy did it, so it was a great job.
He went the smart route and had somebody install it for him. But the bracket looks very simple, right?
The bracket is very simple.
It's got bolts here at the top, so you can do the horizontal.
So yeah, so if you go ahead and take a look here, you actually don't touch, where is the brackets? You adjust, you don't actually play with these bolts.
There's also here on the side.
This bolt here and this bolt here, and they actually adjust for you.
Oh, okay.
So, and then you tighten these bolts down when you're...
see.
Yeah, so you get
So it's
you'll have a
easy
tool.
to align.
Yeah, it's really easy to align.
We'll talk about alignment. How was the alignment process?
It was interesting for the first time.
Okay.
We did eyesight just because of the fact it's 351 meters. And with this little dial down here, when you're down here, the little dial, it actually gives you some indication of how close you are. You're trying to get each side to match, and so as you get
little
close,
LED display there that'll tell you the values. If you're close, it's probably the power that it's receiving from the ends.
I think it's either transmit or receive, depending. Some sides are, I think your primary or your master is the transmit, and I think the slave is, or the secondary, I can't remember which way they call them, is it's one is transmit, one's receive, and you're basically leveling them to match, essentially.
Okay.
So that way you get an equal power, and you're not getting some power offsets.
So it wasn't terribly hard to configure. Plus, it comes with a quick start guide. I think this mount fits on a 2 to 4 inch pole. I think I saw that
2 to 4 inch is the size of the pole. We went kind of two different style mounts. One kind of goes off the trailer itself, so it's a mass style mount. So we went with a bigger 4-inch pipe.
I see the duplex configuration here in the guide. It tells you what the half duplex is, which is the default.
Yes, half duplex is default.
There is a full duplex mode, which if you turn it over so they can see the front of this, there is a frequency A, which is on one side, which this will transmit from here. And then frequency B comes from on the other side of the link, shoots out from the bottom as well, and is received on the top.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good unit. I'm very happy with it. We have had no issues with it. It's kind of been a set it up and forget it kind of. And as far as I know,
it's got a heat sink in the back.
Yeah, the trailers out there have been quite happy with it.
Some drums on it.
In fact, we actually were doing some latency testing just for fun. I held a meeting out there, and we ran a concurrent Jabber and Spark room.
And how did that go?
No latency, no issues. Awesome. It went off without a hitch. So I don't know if I could run 15 of them at once, but
you did prove you can run enterprise applications through this point-to-point link.
Exactly. And in actuality, the fun thing is I'm getting more throughput in my point-to-point link than actually the connection of the site. So it's a 100 megabit link into the site.
Okay.
And so this thing is giving the trailers a 700 up, 700 down connection.
So when they're ready to up that,
we're ready to go. Yeah. So
Awesome.
All right, so I guess we'll get set up for showing off the maps, and we'll go from there.
All right, let's do it, buddy.
Wow. So let's talk about the settings.
Tall.
I know I'm so tall. My chair's taller than your chair.
Just so you guys know. I'm not that short.
Not that short. He is short.
But yeah, we're going to talk about settings on the AirFiber.
AirFiber24, yeah. So as you can see on the screen right now, this is my current settings. We have gone ahead and, masked some of the fun, things. I don't need you guys hacking my stuff.
Sensitive information. Okay,
so as you can see, this is an actual working link right now.
All right, yeah, this is live. This
is live, so you see us down in the bottom corner, and you'll get to see this actually up on screen. So what we've got here is we are currently logged into the master. So this is your primary. The device name is stock. I don't need anything pretty with it. You're running the master. Then you have the link is operational. That's always a plus. Then we've got the link name, which will be masked out. You can't see that.
Yeah. That needs to be the same on both sides.
Yes, it does. That was a learning curve, or i.e. read the instructions. So, we're using AES-128 encryption. I'm pretty sure that was default when we go through the settings. If somebody, we can, this is version uptime. It's been up for 74 days.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah. Good power.
Yeah. Then we go ahead and you have your MAC and your IP addresses, which again, you guys can't see. Date and time, everything. And then we're running in full duplex. So this is kind of just an awesome front screen. This is kind of your main screen where you go ahead and take a look at your capacity links. As you can see down in the bottom, you get your 774 megabits per second up and down.
Your full duplex.
Yeah, and that's full duplex.
Your aggregate is
1.4, which is a little bit better actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We're receiving at a nice solid neg 50 right now. So one of the things I've been wanting to kind of do is it gets really foggy in Marina. So I erred on the side of more power than less power.
I see.
I'd like to see if maybe I could fine tune the alignment a little better. Because basically, I have a feeling that I'm compensating for, because we did an eyesight alignment. We just basically started moving it until we got connection.
Right, and you use the tool that's
the little tools,
into the radio.
So we just used the tools and started moving it up until I had one of my coworkers on the other roof on the other one going, stop, you're good. And
have you seen the fog create some sort of attenuation on your
So far, I went and actually checked the other day, and there wasn't. So far, I was still a solid. So now
24 gig. 24 gig link is
24 gigahertz frequency.
I was cutting it short. The 24 gigahertz frequency is doing pretty well in the fog.
It's doing pretty well in the fog. So I'm curious to see if I can start lowering the power, because as you can see, I'm kicking out 30 dBm, and I think it's a 23 dBi antenna, 21 dBi antenna.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah, that's toasty. I don't know that you want to stand in front of it for too long. And so some of the, it's 100 and. Oh, excuse me, I was wrong on my distance. It's 158 meters, not 351 meters. So I was getting my feet. So
it's 518 feet.
Then also the fun thing is the altitude. I really like this.
Yeah.
It has built-in altimeter, so you also are getting your GPS and longitude from it, as well as its distance from sea level is what we're saying, because it's really not 121 feet up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say sea level. Because we were looking at that, we're like, there's something a little off here.
Yeah, your building is not that high.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it took us a 20-foot ladder to get onto the overhead walkway. And again, obviously, if you guys are in the comments, I can take drone footage of it. So I have a little bit that if you guys are interested in seeing it, maybe I could kick up a video of, you know what I mean? So if you guys want to see it, let us know down in the comments. So it was a 20-foot ladder on a walkway that we had to put a 10-foot ladder on the top of the awning of the walkway. So I was like, well, that's about 30 feet. So if it's saying it's 121 feet, I was like, I wouldn't have gone up that ladder.
I'm pretty sure the documentation somewhere on their site will say altitude is ASL, which is above sea level.
And then you have the data pairs, as you can see across here, how they're sending. And then right now it is currently 4:30 in the afternoon, so there's probably actually no classes going on Thursday. So as you can see, it's probably some light usage. You're just basically getting cap-lap traffic. And the IP clocks and some management overhead stuff.
Yeah, whatever stationary wireless or any stationary devices you have on the other side of the link.
Yeah, just getting there. Let's see. So I guess we can
to the next tab.
Yeah, next tab. Wireless. So this is where you fill out your fun stuff. So essentially, you can choose your master slave mode here. Simple drop downs. The link name. This is one of those things.
Same on both sides.
Got to be the same. I was silly enough I overcomplicated thinking a link name that actually each link in its entirety was. So I was like naming him. You know what I mean? Marina Link 1, Marina Link 2. Potentially, I created.
It was just a descriptor. Or
I just created two separate BSSIDs basically.
And they didn't match. There was a authentication issue, and they said we're not supposed to talk to each other.
Yeah, basically, when you're like, I see you, you see me, we're good, but I'm not talking.
You don't know the password, so you can't get in.
Essentially, then you're looking down at locked. It was locked when we got it, so that's always good. You get your full, your half duplex. Yep. Also, this was interesting. So this is reversed on both sides. So essentially, you need, on the opposite side, you need your frequency. So it's actually running two different frequencies. You're running your 24.1 is running transmit on the master. 24.1 is the receive on the slave. And so vice versa. Okay. And then here we've got where you set your output power. They give you a nice little slider, which I just prefer using the text box.
You can get more accurate by just typing it in.
And we can kind of show you how I kind of came up with that in our next little section when we go over the tool, the link tool. Then you have your mode. This was automatically set to 64 QAM, so I didn't play. And then RX gain is kind of interesting. At a distance, you would think, oh, you always want, because you get a choice between low and high. So I always want high gain. I always want to get the full, and it's like, but at a certain
you got a short distance.
Yeah, you got to remember these things go for 8 miles.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't
need that much gain.
You don't need the gain
at 518 feet. You don't need have a high gain.
And then your AES 128 encryption.
So this is the actual key.
This is the actual key.
So with the link name is the SSID that both of the radios are using, and then it's going to be encrypted with your key.
Yeah, it's a pre-shared key essentially. Which, yes, we have that skewed for a reason. You can't have my key. Let's go to the network tab.
Password 1.
And it's password 1. Actually, it's default.
It's just A.
Yeah.
If you guys know that video.
A. So here you go. You go ahead and do your network settings. You can actually run DHCP, which I think it would be interesting to try a DHCP link where basically we put a master and slave. You'd have to put them in static to make sure they could actually connect, but then actually put them on both on DHCP. Have the master get a DHCP, connect to the far link, and give them a link over DHCP. I don't think it would work, but I think it would be neat to try.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty basic settings in the network.
And there's in-band management. You can do out-of-band management, I assume.
So basically right here, currently I'm connected essentially through, you know what I mean, just an IP address. There is a management port on it to where you can directly connect to it through the management port if you wanted to put some kind of an out of bound on it.
Yeah, and if you have a management VLAN, you could also set that management VLAN here on this interface.
Exactly. So that's exactly what this is right here. So this is our management VLAN. So.
Awesome.
Our management,
So we're now going to the advanced
tab. The advanced tab, which I have no idea what any of this
stuff here
because I didn't play with any of it.
I see, yeah, because you got a GPS clock sync.
Yep.
Data speed, which is just auto. This is the Ethernet. So the rest are all the Ethernet
Yeah, this looks more like the wired side settings. So then we go into services. As you can see, we get a lot of stuff in here that we didn't have a whole lot of need for. So
These
for instance,
network services.
So again, we're not running the Telnet the Telnet server because you should never run Telnet.
You don't need Telnet server. Just use SSH.
We have SSH enabled.
You can set your NTP so the time is synchronized. You can.
Yeah, and then we've also got how the HTTPS, which is not enabled, which I thought it was. So after I'm done here, we will be checking that because it kind of doesn't matter if you have SSH. If you can do whatever. So yeah, that'll be fixed. So just don't act like you saw that. As well as SNMP, which again, sorry, I'm not giving you my community strings.
Yeah. But it looks like it only supports a certain version of SNMP. Is what I can tell.
It is version 2. Actually, no, excuse me.
It looks like version 1
It
to
is
me.
version 1. That was kind of a...
I'm curious if they'll support SNMP v3 because...
Of security?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was adding this, I did have an issue adding it because we run SolarWinds at work, and so I was putting the string and I'm enabled at V2, and it's like, let's do it. It's like, why aren't you connecting? And I go through again, read the handbook.
Yeah, because there's some networks that just don't allow version 1 or 2.
This will only allow version 1. And so, unfortunately, somebody made a comment that why did you need the extra 8 bits for version 2? Because if you're not going to use 3, you're not using the security stuff. So I guess that is a point if you don't need the extra size that you get.
We'll check with Ubiquiti and see what's going on.
See if we're getting an update sometime soon. But yeah, I'd love to see V3 on that because I'm starting to move most of my devices over.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You can do dynamic DNS, which I thought was very interesting. Yeah. That's not something that you generally see. So yeah. And then I am a Cisco shop, so I have CDP enabled.
Yeah.
I like my CDP.
Last tab over here is the
system tab. Dun dun dun.
That's where you update your firmware. Maybe you're not running the latest firmware.
Oh, maybe I'm not. I should go check on that. Again, here you have your GPS location. It's a lot of good stuff. Yeah. So
you should probably set your time zone settings to
West. I like GMT. That's my personal favorite. Yeah, I like to throw my coworkers off.
Yeah. All the log messages.
Yeah, I understand it's -8. See, I'm good. I just take whatever the time says and drop it off. But thank you for, this is what happens when you allow people to look at live stuff. They like to critique how you do,
I can judge how you do
things and judge them. Thanks. I had to put this link up in like 8 hours, so time.
He just had to put it up there. He's gonna fix it later. Guaranteed he will.
Probably not.
But maybe.
I don't care.
He will.
Yeah. Sure, I will. Yeah. All right, so that kind of covers this. Again, if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments. Give us a couple minutes to get the link.
Yeah, and we'll get that.
And we'll get right back to that.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video.
We're not there. This isn't the end. I don't know why you did that. All right, we'll be back in just a second after this commercial break. And we're back.
Welcome back, guys.
So here we are going to talk about the link planner for Ubiquiti.
Yeah, it's the AirLink P2P simulator.
Yeah, and you can find it at airlink.ubnt.com. It's a free tool. So yeah, it's
going to calculate your link here when you have your point-to-points, gives you your capacity, and you're going to show us your campus and how you planned it out.
So as you can see right now, here's the campus. First, it started out with kind of a site survey. I mean, we went out there to the campus itself. We had to make sure because we have trees, we have power lines here. As you can see here, you have a tree there.
You check line of sight.
You got to check your line of sight. Got to actually see where you can actually place these things because our initial thought was to actually place the antenna here to have a closer link, but we had some complications as far as lengths of cable for PoE because technically the cable that is providing PoE to that is in this building over here. Because that was the only way. We had to run it across the top here, which came in at, I think, 289 feet. We were really close. Luckily, you have to use the PoE injector from Ubiquiti, so if worst came to worst, we could have, right inside here, cut and made a junction point right there. Okay. Luckily, we didn't have to. So we'll pop over into the actual link planner.
So here at the top, you've got your the simulator part where it shows your two links, the heights that it's at, to sea level.
Yeah. Okay. So according to sea level, that's my assumption. I'll have to get clarification on it, but I think it takes based off of the Google Maps information and pulls in from there.
It's showing you whether or not you're clearing your line of sight, your first Fresnel zone.
Yep.
All that, and look, you're good there. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and I bet this would be a much more interesting kind of graph as you get to the point when you get to that 8-mile distance, where you're going to probably have to start taking curvature of the Earth and things like that into.
Yeah, you're at about 520 feet,
something like that. It's not as big. You're more looking for line of sight issues. So as you can go down here, it defaults to their 5 gigahertz.
5 gigahertz.
There you go. We got to finish that 5 gigahertz. Your 5 gigahertz AirFiber, we'll just pop it over to 24.
Yeah. And you can see the values change here.
Boom. And you can see your modulation change. You can now see your total capacity.
And that's a huge difference.
That is a big difference. So then we can come down here and you already have your antennas. It'll give you a nice little map of what your antenna looks like. The visual, I have to say, is nice because though you should know what you bought, you might not always know what you bought. You can actually get a visual of, this is what I'm planning.
Yep.
This is what I'm doing.
And it shows the gain of the antenna there, and then you can plug in your transmit power values.
Yes. So as you can see here, we put in a nice 30 for what I was using.
And the reason why you plug this in is you can actually see the changes up at the top when you scroll, as far as what your signal is going to look like, what's your possible your signal strength is going to be, as well as what modulation at that signal strength you'll be receiving. So you're able here to go ahead and go in and kind of play with how much power we'll give it. Yeah, because what's important is if you can hit that right modulation, you're going to get closer to that full capacity of the link.
Exactly. So you want to go ahead and try to see here at neg 60, but you're not really, so we could kick 5, 5.
Of course, you want to try eventually
set the transmit power to 5 on both of them, but you're sitting at a very neg 60, which you're going to start losing. You're going to start losing your modulation at that point in time,
and then that you'll see that when, earlier in the video, we were able to see your modulation.
Yeah, where you can see your capacity. So we have it a little high. Not 43. I think that's going to be breaking some FCC laws if we go that high. Our 430. Wow, that would have been bad. Let's go. There we go.
A little cursor issue there.
Yeah. User error is what I like to call them. So we're sitting here on a nice, sunny, no interference. Clear day. You're sitting at a nice
spectrum.
Nice neg 37, which is really, it's a little hot, but it's not bad. But then also, this is probably 1.5 miles off the ocean, so we have the ocean winds, the water, the salt water in the air. The doors out there, if you don't open them at least once a week, they'll rush shut. As well as the fog. You get the bay fog in there, ain't nobody's business. So I'd rather err on a little hotter than...
Right, you're putting in a buffer there. You're building in some of the loss into this link.
Yeah,
so
expected loss.
Assuming you have the loss, you can have. If you bump up the transmit power, you'll get to.
Yeah, you're kind of compensating for that expected loss. So as this link, again, I think we showed it's been up for like 70 days or something like that. So it's one of those things is as we learn a little bit more, as I can start taking more measurements on what kind of capacity we have, what's its, you know what I mean, what's its received signal strength in the middle of a fog or rain.
Right.
You know, we can go ahead and start adjusting and fine tuning.
And looking at this, because you use the planner, it looks like it came out very close to what it's like in production.
I was, it looks, it's, I mean, I'm happy with it.
Planning's key.
Planning is key. This tool is, I mean...
It's free to use. You can head over to the website.
There's no reason not to if you've got it. I mean, you should go ahead and just use this tool whenever possible.
Use it regardless.
Use it as... Always use a link planner. Don't ever try to do point-to-point links by just like, I got it. Because that's...
You can try.
You could try. I mean, you might even make it work, but I mean, efficiency is what we're about.
You'll waste money, though.
Yeah, you're going to waste a lot of money.
Awesome. Well, that's AirLink. AirLink.ubnt.com. We'll have a link up in the description.
And yeah, that's the AirFiber24. So I hope everybody enjoys it. Comments, questions, anything you'd like to see from us, let us know down in the comments below.
Comment section.
Yeah.
And look out for our next video.
Yes.
What are we doing?
We are going to talk about the best tools of 2017 for wireless engineers.
Awesome.
So that should be kind of fun. Yeah. And
who doesn't like tools?
Don't forget to subscribe. Hit notification.
Hit the subscribe button.
We'll do that.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just put it in the bottom corner somewhere.
It's gonna be right here.
Yeah, it'll be real well. We'll just start each video like this. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Until next time.